Yeah. What's up, everybody? I'm drinking my little cold. Actually, it's a pretty big ass cold brew. Either way, I'm drinking cold brew right now, which is nice, you know. Coming off the heels of St. Patrick's Day here. I'm recording this the day after you guys are listening to it. Who knows? Maybe a couple of days later, maybe a couple of years later. That's the thing with these podcasts. They kind of just live on forever, unless I press delete. But I got no plans of that. Either way, here we are. You know, St. Patrick's Day had me thinking a little bit. As a bartender in New York City, I kind of have a very different outlook on St. Patrick's Day than probably most other people. And it's not good, you know. I don't wake up on St. Patrick's Day full of glee anymore. You know what? There was a time where I did. I think, you know, who celebrates St. Patrick's Day? Obviously the Irish, you know, no shame. That's your day. Go hard at it. But besides the Irish, it's really just young people, you know, and like mostly young white people, but young people in general. You give someone that just turned 21 an excuse, nay, a national holiday centered around drinking. It's the reason why young people love St. Patrick's Day and Cinco de Mayo. They don't give a damn what the holiday is actually about. They just care about drinking. And I mean, I get it. I was the same way. The first St. Patrick's Day for me, after I turned 21, I woke up at like 6 a.m, maybe 7, just to get ready because I knew that the Irish pub that I was a regular at, I knew that they open at 8 because that's how many freaking alcoholics were regulars at that freaking old man Irish pub. And I fit right in at 21. I was there at 8 a.m. when I first turned 21. I mean, I was there with the stupid, you know, shirt, and I made sure I had green, you know, as many green accessories as possible. And it was a couple of years into my 20s that I was big on St. Patrick's Day. I love drinking, you know, so why not? I definitely don't give a damn about it now. That's for sure. It's part because I'm a bartender, and for me, St. Patrick's Day it's instead of it being, you know, instead of it being a holiday for me, it's more like a nightmare, you know, like St. Patrick's Day to me, it's like the purge, where instead of everyone going crazy for like political reasons, people are just going crazy while drinking green beer. It's and as a bartender, I've seen some things, man, that I can't unsee, no matter how hard I try, damn it. So, you know, I see people, you know, the 21-year-old girls looking for their outfits, like, oh, this green bandana will look so cute on me tomorrow as a top, you know, and congratulations. When you're 37 like me, we kind of just want to stay out of the streets and let you hoodlums go crazy, you know, with your little green eyeshadow. Like, we give a fuck. You know, whatever, as long as it makes you happy. But I don't know. I used to go really hard at it. Now I'm much more excited about staying at home and watching a couple of movies on my television as opposed to going out from bar to bar drinking because of an Irish saint that means nothing to me, at least. Not means nothing to the world. I'm sure he's very important, you know, for you Irish and Notre Dame fans. So don't kill me over it. But it did. Man, I remember my first St. Patrick's Day. After I started at that bar when I was at 8 a.m. and I met up with some friends after that. Went to the city. All I remember specifically was that I left 3 credit cards at 3 different bars throughout the night. And I eventually had to go back to those bars to pick them up. I don't know why, because at 21, I was definitely just maxing them out and not paying them at all. So honestly, I don't even know if I did go back to pick them up. I probably didn't, like, and I probably have that debt to this day, because, your boy be in debt. So, what are you going to do? I guess not charge St. Patrick's Day to 3 different credit cards when you're 21. That's what you could do, but that's not what I did. That's not how I live my life. So whatever. Come off it. Leave me alone. I didn't start. I didn't get on this to talk about St. Patrick's Day all day long, or at least all episode long. I started off talking about St. Patrick's Day only because it actually did get me drinking. I guess that's kind of the point, huh? Actually, believe it or not, St. Patrick's Day did not get me drinking. I'm still doing pretty good with my mindful drinking. Not completely sober, but, not drunk every day. So, baby steps, little sober baby steps. It got me thinking, not drinking, about these younger people that do get, and I say get to enjoy St. Patrick's Day because, it's nice to have fun and enjoyment out of things still, right? It's not healthy to be a curmudgeon and hate everything all the time, right? I mean, I hate saying this right now, but they find joy from St. Patrick's Day. And, good for you. I think it's natural, right? Like at 21, you go hard at, and I'm not saying everybody. So you loser 21-year-old that doesn't drink and doesn't go out. Don't reply to this. Not me. I don't do that. I got it. For the most part, when you're 21, you go hard at the things that you weren't allowed to go hard at or do at all just a year prior. And by that, I mean, not just drinking, but like going out to the bar. Do you know the difference between being 20 years old and 21 years old and asking the question out loud to like a group of friends, so what should we do tonight? Before you're 21, the answer to that question is like 3 things. It's like 3 things. It's like, let's go to McDonald's. Let's go, I don't know, to the movies, or let's go bowling. And not even the fun bowling, where the last thing you care about is actually bowling, and you're there for the drinking. Once you turn 21, the answer to what should we do tonight is just always a bar. That's what the decision then comes to which bar, what kind of bar, where. It's never like, what do we do? And it can be bars, it can be clubs, lounges, whatever, anywhere. We are allowed anywhere in the world now, okay? And a year ago, we weren't allowed anywhere. So, yeah, we're going to go hard at the bars, and that's why when there's a holiday to celebrate drinking, we're out all day. I will wake up early to go drinking if I'm 21. You remember those idiots in college and fraternities talking about kegs and eggs? And if you don't know what kegs and eggs is, it's a stupid freaking practice that college kids like to participate in, where they wake up at the break of dawn to go to a bar and get shit-faced plastered as early as possible and somehow have the idea that they're going to continue at said pace on into the wee hours of the night. And inevitably they never do. They throw up and fight and cry and argue and whatever. But still, kegs and eggs, it's a thing. It's not a thing when you're 37. No, it's a nightmare when you're 37. When you're 37 and someone describes kegs and eggs, they might as well be describing a scene from Saw, okay? You mean to tell me that for joy, you wake up at 6 a.m. to go to a smelly bar to drink and maybe have some of their eggs, which, by the way, in today's economy, really? Eggs with your beer? Must be nice. It sounds terrible to me, but like it's the reason why. Here's the only reason why I'd say it sounds terrible to me, because I did it already. I didn't specifically do kegs and eggs, but I did it already. I've woken up early to go drinking like an asshole all day. It's what you do when you're young. It's a big reason why the older you get, like the less you kind of want to go to clubs or to festivals or whatever. I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. I still want to go to a bunch, but I used to go like every freaking weekend, dude. I'm talking about every Friday night. I was at Webster Hall or at freaking Output or Pasha or man, what are some of the other? I forget, Lavo and man, I don't remember what they were even called back then. Mirage, when it first started opening up. Every week on Molly or ecstasy, and every week getting shit-faced plastered. Because a year ago or a couple of years ago, I wasn't getting into these clubs. They weren't letting me in. I was too young. I wanted in. They wouldn't let me. So you go mad hard at it once they let you, right? That's what we dumbass, young, dumb, broke, not high school kids, but college kids. Well, I got kicked out of college by that time, but still. So I get it. I get it. But me now, I don't really get that excited to go out to a club and get, shit-faced drunk. I get excited that the bed frame that I ordered finally arrived. I don't get excited that I then have to spend 3 hours putting the bed frame together. But then I get excited that I get to lay in the bed frame. And then I think about all those poor kids that are out, that are drinking. And I think to myself, oh man, I'm so happy that I'm not doing that right now. It's called getting old. Anyways, it reminded me of this, I guess, I don't know if it's a trend or if it's just my algorithm telling me what I should be interested in this week. Either way, seeing all these young folk get happy and ready and excited for St. Patrick's Day reminded me of a bunch of videos or reels that I had been seeing on social media centered around similar themes. And now, obviously, because I am a bartender, I will get some bar-themed videos every now and then, along with my kitten videos and comedy videos and nary a video of a woman or her ass, might I say. Never. No, that's not what's on my For You page. So I get a lot of these videos of either bartenders bitching or whatever, a bartender bitching, go figure. And I kept seeing a couple of videos or a bunch of videos about Gen Z drinking and the culture of Gen Z drinking, their etiquette and whatnot. And, at first I was just kind of nodding along like, yeah, these young guys do freaking suck. But I don't know. I didn't want to be that. What am I? I think I'm a millennial. I think I'm a millennial. I'm pretty sure of that, right? Gen Z is like right after us. So the Gen Z drinker can easily be shit on by us millennials, but I mean, that's kind of the way that life goes. The younger generation can always be shit on by the older generation. And I didn't want to do that, even internally to myself. Now, don't get me wrong. I will still think pretty lowly of some Gen Z people. I think pretty lowly of most people, to be honest with you. Don't hold that against me. But for the sake of an episode of a podcast, I didn't want to just focus my entire energy on just shitting on a Gen Z person. Because I do think that they've figured some things out in terms of drinking. Now, don't get me wrong. They've got some things really, really, really fucking wrong, but not everything. which is why I'm doing this episode. Where initially I was going to say I wanted to talk about the top 10 things, the top 10 worst habits or bad habits of the Gen Z drinker. But I was like, you know what? That's too mean. I don't want to do that because you're not all that bad. So let me throw you guys a bone. Let me give you guys your flowers before you're dead, but also keep you humble at the same time. So this episode is a list of 10 things, but what I'm going to be talking about are the five best and the 5 worst habits of the Gen Z drinker. Because, like I said, they're not getting everything wrong. One thing, let's start on the negative. Huh? Oh, and by the way, this isn't a countdown. You know, I'm not. Well, it can be a countdown. You want to make it a countdown? Fine. We'll go from 5 to 1 or 10 to 1. 5 to 1 for each one. So I guess 5 would be like the least bothersome or whatever. Here I'll start with a negative one though, only so that we can end on a positive note here, because that's what I'm all about. I'm all about love, positivity, inclusion, and all that stupid freaking shit. Here is the 5th worst habit of the Gen Z drinker. And this might be an open critique of them in general. And it's the one that is going to make me sound like a get off my lawn old curmudgeon here. But it kind of has to be said. And it's good that I'll do this first to get it out of the way. Number 5. Get off the damn phone. You're out at a bar. You would think it's to socialize, you know, but the amount of times that someone will either ignore the bartender because they're on their phone, or ignore their friends because they're on their phone, or just ignore each other, other patrons, other would-be friendly connections you could have made. But no, everyone just wants to be on their phones, or even more so phones and a headphone. And you know what? Even I can be guilty of that sometimes, but it's definitely more of a characteristic that strays younger than older. I definitely see more older people be much more open to the idea of striking up a conversation with a stranger at a bar. It doesn't happen as often with younger people. I think it's also a reason why younger people prefer to go to bars in groups as opposed to by themselves. I kind of love, or I don't do it as often anymore, but I would still like it. And I liked when I did it in the past, going to bars by myself and kind of just, if it's a good bar, you stay there for a while, and it's as if eventually, if you give it enough time and you have like the right attitude, the bar will open itself up to you, and you will find some type of enjoyment, whether it be from a conversation with the bartender, whether it be with a conversation from another patron of the bar. I have truly made connections that I've had in my life for years, if not to this day, because I was just open to talking to someone at a bar. And I don't even mean hitting on someone of the opposite sex. No, I've had friendships that extended past drinking at a bar just because I met him while having a beer once, you know? It also happens though, like, everybody wants to be served so quickly, right? You know the amount of times that I go up to someone that's been kind of impatient because they want to be served the moment they get to a bar, but I'm busy taking another order. Then I get to them, and what are they doing? They're doing this. They're scrolling on their phone, and I'll literally be right in front of them. Like, hello? So, Gen Z, when at the bar, look, I know that as a society, we are all on our phones way more, exponentially more than we ever were before. something about doing it at the bar, though. I mean, like, aren't we at the bar to socialize? It's, look, you don't want to talk to a stranger. That's cool. But the amount of times I see a group of Gen Z people on their own phones when they are together, it's like you guys can't even hold each other's attention, and you guys are friends. Why are you even hanging out at bars if you're that bored of each other instantly? Now, I don't want to, like I said, this isn't about harking on all the negatives on you guys. So let's balance this out. Let's add some balance to the force, like this is Star Wars a little bit, all right? Here's a good habit from Gen Z drinkers. We'll call this the 5th best habit that I've seen from the Gen Z drinker as a bartender in New York City. And I do believe that the Gen Z drinker is a little bit more safety conscious than pretty much any other drinker. What do I mean by that? Now, I don't exactly mean that you know your limits. Like, older drinkers may be more quote unquote safety conscious only because we're more aware of what our limits are and what the limits of our friends around us should be. That's not what I mean. That's more responsible drinking. I'm talking about truly just looking out for each other's safety as a society. I think that there's a more call to action for it amongst the Gen Z community. I mean, let's just look at a couple of things. Have you guys ever heard of an angel shot? I'm sure that there are a lot of you out there that have heard of this. And understandably so, I bet there's a ton of you that have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Will, is that just the new viral drink? No. An angel shot is a shot that someone can order at a bar, and it is actually supposed to be a code word that lets the bartender know that whoever ordered that shot is not feeling safe. So let's say I'm bartending and this woman is with me or is at the bar, and next to her is standing this guy, and she looks at me and she, makes eye contact and orders an angel shot. I now know as a bartender, this guy next to her is making her feel unsafe right now. And now it's on me to do what I can to help her. This idea of an angel shot, this is relatively new. This is something that the younger generation has introduced into society, into this world, as a way to help look out for each other. And I've seen signs of the angel shot a lot of times in bathrooms posted up. I bet it's posted up way more in women's bathrooms than it is in men's bathrooms because, let's be honest, women are the ones that might need help or should probably need the most protection out there, because us men can freaking suck. I know because I'm one of us, so don't try to tell me otherwise. We can suck sometimes, man. That's why I, as a bartender, have had to go out of my way to protect women, to make sure that they feel safe. I've never had the angel shot thing happen while I work, but I'm at least aware of it. And it's just an example of, them being more cognizant of safety being something that needs to be worried about. On that same level, there is a lot more awareness about just protecting your drinks in general. I see, I do feel that it's a lot more of the younger people, especially the younger women, that will ask me as the bartender if I can watch their drink while they, go to the bathroom or they go outside for a smoke. And I'm always down to do that. If I don't just, put if it's not busy, I'll put I'll keep it in front of me. I'll watch it. But usually I'll put a napkin on top of the drink and actually take the drink off the table and hold it on my side of the bar so that I even when I'm not paying 100% attention to that drink, can be more safe of its surroundings. You never know. You never know. And I don't know if it was the hangover, but this generation is a little bit more cognizant of just being roofied or slipped anything. Because look, it's not even roofalin that people are roofied with, right? No, they could be roofied with ecstasy or Molly or whatever. It could be ketamine. It could be whatever Bill Cosby was freaking using. You never know. So I do see not just people being more aware of that, but also looking out for each other. I mean, you've seen the videos of girls stopping each other from drinking something because they noticed somebody else do something to that drink, you know? Something else in terms of awareness for safety, just the idea of Uber being so prevalent now makes it so that it is truly a stupid decision to try to get home by drunk driving, especially here in New York City. So I do see oftentimes when people are out drunk, like, no, you're not driving, or even like, no, you are not getting in the subway right now. I'm calling you an Uber. All right. Like, I'll see that more. And I do think that's more of a Gen Z thing too. I mean, you know, the amount of times that I've gotten just absolutely blackout drunk with my friends, and then we say bye to each other and none of us in the group give a single damn about how the other is getting home. It's just like, whatever, good luck, see you tomorrow. And then we all say something in the group chat within the next 2 or 3 days, and then that's how we all know that everyone is alive. That's it. You know, it wasn't like, hey Dave, I'm going to call you an Uber. It's like, no, like, your blood alcohol level is 2.4. Well, there's your van. Good luck. That's how millennials care. That's how we care about each other's safety. Is it right? No. Gen Z got something right, you know? Something that they're getting wrong still. Number 4 on the list of bad habits of the millennial drinker. It's related to the phone. It's kind of like the get off the phone habit, except this one I'm going to call, this isn't TikTok. Now, what do I mean by that? You treat the bar like it's a TikTok set. I'm surprised you didn't bring your ring light to take a better video of the drink, you know, like you film the bartender making the drink, and you don't drink it until you have the perfect shot with the perfect light. And you know, you care more about posting a picture or video of your drink than you do about drinking it. Likewise, you care more about the couple of pictures that you're taking that night as opposed to the evening that you're actually having. These people that go out and they at some point they have to have their posed pictures in front of the photo opportunity area of the bar or the lounge. And they have to have the perfect boomerang or video or something. Like, it's all about, how am I going to portray this moment on Instagram, on TikTok? How am I going to let my followers perceive the night that I'm having right now? When, you know, truthfully, if you went as hard at enjoying your night as you did at portraying your night, you might actually have an even better night than you're allowing yourself to have. That happens a lot at bars, and they get, you guys, you friends, you give into it. It's like you take turns, like, oh, now it's my photo shoot. Take my picture. Click, 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 click. And okay, now it's your turn for the photo shoot. Stacy, go. Click, 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 click. And then, oh, wait, look at this wall. Someone painted angel's wings on it. Let's all take pictures of there one by one, though, because we all need to post it individually on our own social media accounts. So that's something that's more Gen Z. Me, like older people, Just give us the goddamn drink and shut up about it, you know? Like, we don't really need, not everything needs to be filtered and hashtagged and posted and liked and subscribed. But on that subject, please do like and subscribe to all my pages at I'm Will Bryant. That's right. 3 words. I'm Will Bryant, Bryant. Like Kobe. Thank you. Yeah. Treating the bar like a TikTok set. That was my number 4 on negatives. Now, let's go to the number 4 best habit of the Gen Z drinker. Respecting personal space at bars. This is something that I think comes along the lines of just being more aware of individuals and what individuals deserve in terms of feeling safe. And it's kind of related to number 5, where the Gen Z drinker is very cognizant of being more safety conscious. Well, they're also more aware of being respectful to each other in certain ways. Now, I know I am out here saying that Gen Z is good at being respectful, and I can just see it. I can just see it now. Anyone older than Gen Z right now, they're thinking, Gen Z respectful? Bullshit. No way that snot-nosed generation knows a damn thing about respect. And I mean, you may want to jump to that conclusion, but yeah, remember, they're also the generation that is extremely aware and sensitive to gender identification. They're more sensitive to the ways that there is injustice and inequality throughout society, whether it be between men and women, whether it be between races. Now, look, I know we feel more divided than ever in this country because of the election and what we're going through right now with, you know, the left and the right, and I get that. But when I'm bartending and I'm at the bar, maybe it's because I'm not bartending in, I don't know, Birmingham, Alabama or something like that. No offense to you guys, Roll Tide. But I do often see a very healthy awareness for other people and you know, personal space, safe space, stuff like that. It's something about people my age and older. We're okay with kind of having to shove around and shit to get to places or whatever, you know, like that's not really going on too much with the younger folk. And maybe it's also because as a society, they are more aware of what rights they should have. Hey, you are making me feel uncomfortable right now, and I don't appreciate that, you know? Whereas maybe someone else of another generation might have felt like they had to put up with this tomfoolery, you know? Like this generation's much more like, no, that's not okay. So like, I'm not gonna stand up for that. And I see a lot more of an understanding with like boundaries for the most part between Gen Z. At least there's more of an awareness of it. And I do think that's kind of cool. You know, usually the douchebaggery comes once you're drunk, and that's just more about knowing your limits than just needing to relearn morality in sense, you know. I want to kind of go off of that a little bit now that we're to jump back to the negative side, because number 3 on my list of bad habits of the Gen Z drinker is bar etiquette in general. And I know that that might seem a little confusing after I just finished giving them kudos for being respectful to each other. Now here's my thing: is I actually think Gen Z is very good at being respectful and respecting the personal and safe spaces of each other. But when it comes to actually then respecting staff and people in the service industry in general, that's where I think Gen Z still has a little bit to learn. And it makes sense because maybe that little bit that they still have left to learn, it just comes with age, you know? I think that that Gen Z tends to be nicer to each other than to the service industry. It's a lot of, what's the word? It's a lot of, I don't want to say privilege, so to say. That's not exactly the right word. I'm sure that the moment I stop recording this, I'll think of exactly the word I want to use, but it's a lot of feeling as if you are deserved everything exactly the way you want it and as quickly as you want it. Like the idea of waiting or being patient isn't very high because, I mean, we live in a world where it's Amazon Prime and instant gratification, and you get bored on Instagram in 2 seconds and there's a new video right there. So if you're at a bar and the bartender isn't taking your order right away, the amount of Gen Zers that'll just try to wave me down or tell me do this, like they'll come here, or even the dreaded snap. Woo-hoo. Yeah, it's rude. It's like they just haven't learned yet what's okay to do at a bar or with a bartender. It's, look, you want something from me? Make eye contact, smile. You don't have to wave me down. This is, like I've said before, this isn't second grade. This isn't class. I'm not calling on you, you know? Just relax, chill out. Also, just Gen Z, for some reason, the way that you guys just speak to the help, the service, the bartenders, the servers, the barbacks in general, it's not, you guys tend to be the ones that forget about manners the quickest. You can go a long way, or it goes a long way to just be nice, just be polite. Just don't be a douchebag. And I mean, I kind of get it because I did it too when I was, guess what, your age. When it comes to guys, I think that a lot of times the guys act kind of douchey because you're at a bar. So it's obviously one of the main reasons you're there is for the ladies, for the women, or just to go home with somebody, right? So how do you like attract someone? How do you peacock, so to say? You know, it's a lot of guys think it's that they're impressing a girl by, I don't know. They want to seem confident, right? They want to seem cool and confident, but unfortunately, what happens often, especially at a young age, is that you confuse portraying confidence by being arrogant. And arrogant and confidence are two very different things, because you can be confident and be polite, humble, gracious, sympathetic. You can be all those things and still be confident. In fact, I would argue that the more confident you are, the nicer, the more humble you may be, because confidence means you don't have to prove yourself to anybody. And the amount of times that I feel that a young Gen Z broy douchebag is trying to use me to show off how cool and cocky they are, to peacock for the girl next to them, it happens all the time. They'll try to either make stupid jokes with me that are not funny. They'll try to either show the girl that they're hot shit by ordering from me in a dismissive way. Maybe they'll start ordering, quote unquote top shelf stuff around the woman, and then by the time it's, time ready to pay the bill, they're not tipping like top shelf people. It's bar etiquette in general. Just Gen Z, be nice. There's nothing ever wrong with being nice. And in fact, coming from a bartender, coming from someone that works in the service industry, we never remember or talk positively about that person that thought that they were really fucking cool. No, even celebrities, dude. I work at the Comedy Cellar. I see some of the biggest celebrities that this freaking world has to offer. And I never really talk about celebrity X and say, man, that guy walked in here and was so damn cocky. I loved it. No, it's always, man, that person is so freaking nice, dude. She is the nicest person. That person, he is an absolute sweetheart. And that goes a lot further to us. And it's not, I don't even mean like, oh, what a sweetheart, he tips much. No, or tips a lot. No, I am more profoundly impacted by somebody being a good person, a nice person, than being a person full of swag. I've never told a story of like, yo, this person walked in and he was just so dismissive, but man, was he cool. No, never happened once. But you know what I have said? Man, that person walked in, they were just the sweetest fucking person. It motivates me to be nicer in life when I go to bars. So just be nicer. That's my little advice going off of the number 3rd bad habit of the Gen Z drinker. Number 3rd, did I just say that? Now, let's counter that a little bit. What is the 3rd best habit of the Gen Z drinker? And here's what I'm going to say, or how I'm going to phrase it. They're more focused on the experience and not just the drinking. And what do I mean by that? They like bars for the vibe. It's not just to black out. They actually enjoy the night. And I know I did say earlier that sometimes Gen Z makes it harder on themselves to enjoy the night because it's all about they're on their phones too much. But when they're not, the reason that they're even at that bar in the first place, it's probably because they found it on their phone, because it was on some type of TikTok video or whatever. It's more about, like I said, the vibe is a big word for you young people, right? Tell me now. I had to learn what it meant. I remember a couple of years back when I when I first started getting really good at bartending, I had a young barback tell me, hey, you're a vibe. And I thought she just didn't finish her sentence. Like, am I a good vibe? Am I a bad vibe? What kind of vibe am I? I had to be taught that just being a vibe was a good thing. So I'm taking what I was taught by this Gen Zer and putting that into this. Gen Z wants their bars to be a vibe. They want their night to be a vibe. As they might describe it, they want their night to be a movie. Wow, this night is a movie, yo. Is it ever actually a movie? No, it'd be the worst movie of all time, behind Amelia Perez. So I guess go ahead and make it a movie and you'll get nominated for 12 fucking Academy Awards either way. It's about the experience, whereas, a lot of us, myself included, when I was their age, I was about, where can I get fucked up? Man, we made a bar called Continental dangerously famous for all the wrong reasons. Continental was a bar by St. Mark's where it was so the opposite of wanting to be a vibe. On the freaking awning, it said 5 shots for $10. The fuck? That's crazy. That still sounds like a crazy deal. Oh man. So yeah, they're more into the vibe, and I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. You know, I do think it's better than just going hard at the sake of for the sake of going hard or whatever. I think it also has to do with what I said earlier about, you know, being more safety conscious and stuff like that. So, it's a good. I think it's good for them. That they're more into the vibe and look. It doesn't even mean that every place they go to has to be expensive. No, a good dive bar with cheap drinks can still be a vibe. It's, you know, it's finding the right vibe. That felt so stupid. Let's get back to the negative side of things, and these are essentially the top 2 bad habits of the Gen Z drinker, and these were the easiest to come up with. Number 2 on my list of bad habits of the Gen Z drinker: paying. You guys fucking suck at it. What do I mean by paying? All aspects. So hell, sometimes you guys don't even pay. You'll just run out on the bill. But what else sucks about paying? The amount of times that you guys need a bill split. You know, you're serving a couple of Gen Z people when it's like 2 people at the bar that order 1 beer each, never specify that they want separate tabs. And then when they ask for the bill, because of course you guys never open up tabs. You never put down your credit card and leave a tab open. Nope. You want to close out every time. That's another thing in terms of the Gen Z drinker. You don't open up tabs. You want to come up to me and order your fucking Blue Moon or your vodka soda 7 times and close out your credit card 7 times with me because you're so terrified that leaving it open will either mean you're going to spend more money or you're going to get so drunk that you're going to forget your card behind and have to come back the next day. Open up a fucking tab and just close it when the night is done. You think I want to go back and forth to my POS system 7 times for your tequila soda every time? You're wasting my time. You're wasting your time. You're making life harder. Jesus. The other thing, you guys want to split everything up into like 5 cards. And I get it, because you guys are young and you guys are broke. You guys don't have the money. There isn't one person doesn't have enough money or doesn't think they have enough money. They don't want to be responsible for it. They don't. You know what? I bet one of y'all does have enough money, but you know that you have a bunch of broke ass friends that'll never Venmo you back. And that's the thing. This whole Venmo, Apple Pay, Cash App, it means that you guys can split the bills up so much easier now than you used to be able to. You know the amount of times that I would just go out with my friends and like one day I picked up, you know, our tab at a bar. The other day they'd pick it up, or we would lose count. Like who has bought the other more beers throughout the night? Like it wasn't that serious with us, man. At least not with me and most of my group of friends. Like I don't remember a night that I went out with my group of friends and thought to myself, man, I bought Monica 8 beers, but she only bought me 6. No. Absolutely not. But you guys, you go out and you're like, okay, Heather, you owe $46.42. Stacy, $42.41. Jennifer only had 1 drink, and it's like, Jesus Christ. And then everyone either puts down their card or just is ready to Venmo. And what happens? Everyone sends exact change to pay. and it ends up fucking over the bartender. More on that later. But just your pay, the way you guys pay, that's why I love places that have a maximum, like you can only split it up to 2 ways. Because you know, the amount of times people want to split it up 5 ways, have some self-respect. it's two of you. You guys each ordered one Blue Moon and you want to split the check in half. No, one of you doesn't have $8.50 to spot the other. You broke, pathetic. If that's the case, don't go out. Sorry. I'm only being mean because I'm balancing this episode out with the nice, okay? So let's go back to the nice. You guys, the number 2 best habit of the Gen Z drinker. You guys do tend to have more creative drink choices. Now, here's the thing about this one. This can be a slippery slope because this can also mean that you guys come up to me and are going to ask me for hey, can you make a porn star martini with a sugar rim? Fuck you. It's just the way it is. But every now and then, you guys will come across a TikTok video where it's actually giving you a pretty good suggestion, you know? Hey, the Spagliato is a pretty... I know I said it like a douchebag, right? The Spagliato is a good drink. It's a Negroni, but instead of gin, you use Prosecco. A Negroni is normally just 1 part gin, 1 part Campari, 1 part sweet vermouth. Someone on TikTok said, hey, replace the gin with a Prosecco. It makes it a lighter drink, a little bit more of a bubbly, airy drink, and it's just as, if not more delicious. It's a little bit more summery, and people started coming across this video online, and now it's a super popular drink online. That's, that's very different from me when I grew up, and I was just doing Jameson ginger ale because the older guy next to me said that was a good basic drink that'll never get you laughed at. Okay, that's cool. But then, you never get to realize that you actually might enjoy an incredible drink like the Paper Plane, which, is actually, in terms of classic cocktails on the newer side, it was invented after the song, after the MIA song, by the way. It was my favorite cocktail might be the penicillin. And that's another drink that, doesn't really get enjoyed as much as it should, but maybe somebody will make a TikTok video about it. Anyways, they tend to... Now, look, the bad thing about that is that means you sons of bitches love your espresso martinis. My God. And there's just no getting around that. You guys suck at that. That's so... and your mojitos and that type of stuff sucks. But, when you see a video that puts you... Like my wife, she never really knew about the Aperol Spritz until she saw it online. And she realized she thought it was delightful. And she likes it now. Aperol Spritz is a great summery drink. This is more of it's part of that vibe thing, where they want to order the cool stuff. They're much more cool with a mezcal or a funky cocktail. Of course, the espresso martini, like I said before, but it's way better. They're not just doing, vodka shots or whatever, although, they are sometimes too. But they're okay with, I think it comes with the idea of, maybe wanting to curate it a little bit more on social media. They want a picture of the drink before, so they'll have, instead of just, who's gonna want to post a picture of a vodka soda on their Instagram? No, but if you get a beautiful cocktail with a nice garnish and it's something a little bit more original, then yeah, that might be worth posting online. And perhaps the desire to put this drink online on social media is a negative, but it does lead to the positive of them opening up their palates to some more creative drinks out there. For sure, Gen Z is much more into upscale cocktails in general. The wanting to go to a quote unquote cocktail bar specifically because they've heard of a couple of drinks from the menu. That's part of the vibe thing. So more creative drink choices. It sucks when the creativity ends at a lemon drop martini, but that's just part of the game. Now, what is the number one worst habit of the Gen Z drinker? Well, if number two is the act of paying, then number one has to be the art of tipping. Let's just get into it, all right? I don't want to spend too much time on this, but tipping. Gen Z is the absolute worst at this than anyone else, any other generation that exists. It's just the truth. It's probably just because you guys are broke as hell. I don't know. Look, if you're one of these people that just believes that tipping is wrong in general, okay. Look, in a vacuum, like in the grand scheme of things, I'd probably agree with you. I would probably prefer it if my bosses throughout my entire career or history of being a bartender, of being a server, of being a bar back, of being a food runner, every job I've ever had in the food industry, if I was able to be paid by my employer a nice, livable wage that I make off of tips, then I would probably prefer that. I would like to know exactly how much I would make on a given night and not just hope that it's a bunch of good tippers coming in today. But that's not the society we live in, and it's not our fault as the bartender, as a server. It's America. It's the government. It's all this shit. They are doing it this way. I'm just living in it. So when you say something like, I don't believe in tipping culture, and so you say, fuck it, you're not really giving the middle finger to anyone that actually controls it. You're just saving money by being a piece of shit to someone that just worked their ass off to give you service. If you don't believe in tipping culture, do not go to places where they get paid off of mostly tips. If you don't believe in tipping culture, don't get your nails done because you're not going to tip afterwards. You don't believe in tipping culture? Walk around with ugly nails, you stupid bitch. You don't believe in tipping culture? You don't go to the goddamn barbershop no more. How about that? Because that's part of the culture of the barber. You go, you pay what it costs, and then you tip on top of that. You're not going to tip your barber? Walk around looking ugly as fuck, you stupid bastard. You're not going to tip your hairdresser. You're not going to tip your colorist. Then you know what? You walk around with gray roots looking like a stupid bitch, all right? That's what happens. That's what you should be exposed to in your life. If you don't want to tip, then you don't get to go to the bar and make our lives a living hell, all right? You're so mad about tipping culture? Well, take an actual stance and don't participate in anything where tipping culture is part of the norm, okay? And you people that bitch about tipping culture online, my God, get over it. Get over it, okay? You know where you should be directing your anger? How about the fact that, I don't know, they take too much out of your goddamn taxes every time you get your paycheck? Shouldn't you be more mad about that? How about the fact that rent is too damn high and it's damn near impossible to pay rent on these paychecks that you're getting and you have to have roommates? How about you be mad about that? No, you want to be mad at the bartender that you just made do 14 drinks and aren't going to give him a goddamn dollar as a thank you afterwards. That's who you're mad at. That's who you post about, you stupid moron. The hell is wrong with you? You're mad at the wrong people. Tipping. You don't want to tip. If you can't afford to tip, you don't go out. Period, man. That's it. That's what happens when you're young. You don't get to do everything if you don't have enough money to do it. I remember one time, some young piece of shit ordered a bunch of drinks and food at my bar, and when it came time to pay the bill, the motherfucker took out Exact change. I'm talking about bills, but then he took out quarters, nickels, and pennies. And then he put it on the table, and I just said, okay, thanks. And he walked away. And then when I went through it, sifting through all the coins, I realized he actually shorted me by about 8 cents. So the motherfucker went out of his way to pay exact change and then didn't even do it properly. He knew he wasn't going to tip. He couldn't tip, and he still kept ordering. You guys do that a lot. It's terrible. It's this guy. Dude, you go out. You have a $120 tab. $5 is not okay. That's not a good tip, you stupid asshole. You guys suck at that, man. And it's probably because none of you guys have ever worked a job where tips are required to pay your bills. That's what happens. The number one worst habit of the Gen Z drinker, you guys are usually the worst fucking tippers in the entire establishment. Oh. Look, there's a reason why I wanted to make this the 5 best habits and the 5 worst habits, because I knew I was going to get worked up talking about this. And there's a reason why I did it in this order, because I didn't want this negativity to be the final thing I talk about, man. No. So let's end on a positive note. Let's talk about the number one best habit of the Gen Z drinker. And that is that you guys just drink less. You're more mindful of drinking. I talked about this with Sam Bale, who was on my show a couple of weeks back, where she was talking to me or telling me that Gen Z is actually, like, statistically, they drink less than any other generation that's come before them. They're more into non-alcoholic drinks and non-alcoholic cocktails, to the point where non-alcoholic bars are actually starting to pop up every now and then. And I'm kind of here for it. The idea that a younger generation than me would actually be more responsible when it comes to drinking, why would I be angry about that? I applaud that. In fact, because of, the way I've been changing my drinking habits as of late, I admire that. Bravo to Gen Z for being more okay with just saying no, but instead of just saying no to drugs, they're saying no to being drunk. Sam said that she believes it's the legalization of cannabis, of weed, that has helped this drop in drinking. And hey, great. A lot less people have been negatively impacted by weed than alcohol. So why not? Why not? Look, I myself have started drinking non-alcoholic beers, as you've seen on this very show. And I do want to actually, I've never been to a non-alcoholic bar, but I want to go. And, maybe I'll get there sooner rather than later. But Gen Z, they care about what they're drinking more so than they care about getting wasted. And that's something that just a couple of months ago would have seemed like a foreign concept to this millennial freaking debauchery staring at you right now. I was all about getting destroyed, but not anymore. And I'm glad that that movement for me has been made kind of easy, and it's because of this generation. It's because of the Gen Z generation making it much more open and acceptable to be a mindful drinker, to just say no to wanting to get fucked up all the time. So drinking less and just being more mindful of your drinking, that's the number one best habit of the Generation Z drinker. So in honor to you guys being mindful drinkers, cheers to you as I sip on this cold brew. You're not all bad, man. I know I ranted there for the tipping, but man, I gave you guys 5 positives, man. There's 5 things to work on, but 5 things to hold on to. And maybe any millennials or even Damn, what's older than millennial? Gen Xers? Anyone, any old people out there listening to this, maybe stop being so hard on the young ones, because I just gave you 5 reasons to give them a little pat in the back, you know? I'm trying to be nice here. So that's all I really got for you guys today. St. Patrick's Day just got me thinking about young people getting drunk, and I wanted to give them their flowers while I also kick them in the butt a little bit, you know? We can all get better, not just at drinking, but at everything we do, can't we? Why not? Guys, I just want to thank you guys for sticking with me, for listening to this episode, and do me a favor. You already know what I'm going to ask you, but do it anyways. Can you like this video? Can you subscribe to my channel? Can you follow me on social medias? Can you like my reels? Can you do all this shit, man? Can you subscribe to my podcast channel? Can you do that? You can find me on all platforms, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, X, Twitch, Threads, Spotify, all that stuff. It's just, I'm Will Bryant. That's 3 words. I'm Will Bryant, Bryant, like Kobe. Go out there. If you're gonna drink, do it mindfully. Be nice to your bartenders. Tip us well. Old people, stop hating on the young people so much. They're not all bad, man. They're not all bad. Besides that, man, I'll see y'all next time. I appreciate you all so very